I am Kiranpreet Kaur from Makkar Isles, and this essay, seen on the 31st October 2020 in India at 9 a.m., is an essay from my book, IELTS Academic Essays from the Past Exams. This is essay number 58. The advantages brought by the spread of English as a global language will outweigh the disadvantages. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this view? So, first of all, I would like you to take a close look at the topic. This is a topic which is an agree disagree topic, but in this topic, the topic itself is partial. The topic is saying that the advantages brought by the spread of English as a global language will be more than the disadvantages. Now the topic itself is agreeing to it that if we adopt English as a global language, it will have more advantages and less disadvantages, which means that the topic is partial. It is saying there will be advantages, there will be disadvantages, but advantages will be more if English is adopted as a global language. In such an essay, you have to write both points, whether there'll be advantages or disadvantages, more advantages or disadvantages, by straight away agreeing or disagreeing. Like in the introduction, you go one sided, you say I agree. This means that you will make two paragraphs for the advantages of spread of English as a global language and one paragraph for the disadvantages. But if you totally disagree, in that case you will make two paragraphs of the disadvantages and one paragraph of the advantages. So here, let's see how to go about it. There is no doubt that more and more people across the world are speaking English and it is becoming a common language. While I agree that there would be a few drawbacks of the increasing use of English as a global language, its advantages would certainly outweigh the drawbacks. Now, in this essay, see, I have said that I agree there would be a few drawbacks, but the advantages would certainly outweigh the drawbacks. That means, on the whole, I'm agreeing with the topic because the topic is saying advantages are more, and I am also saying the same thing. Okay. Now, the first body paragraph, take a closer look at the topic sentence. There would be several advantages of people resorting to English for communication across the world. This means there would be several advantages if people adopt English as a global language, if people all over the world start using English for communicating. So it's the same. Now this sentence tells that in this paragraph I am going to put the advantages of using English as a global language. So when the first sentence of the paragraph makes it clear what the paragraph is going to hold, then definitely it's a very good topic sentence. Okay. First, it would be accepted by so many people who already know this language. So the first point is that it would be accepted by so many people who already know it. They'd say, oh good, we already know English, now it is declared as a global language, it will make things easier. Everybody else will also have to learn, whosoever doesn't know it yet, but we already know it, so they'll be very happy. More non-natives than natives already speak English, and thus it would be an easily accepted transition. See, this is one language which has more non-native speakers than native speakers. So I had used the word lingua franca earlier in this. Lingua franca is a language in which has more non-native speakers. You can use that word here if you wish. But already more non-natives than natives speak this language. So it would be easily accepted. Secondly, English is easier to learn than any other language. Unlike other languages, for example, English has only 26 alphabets, which are combined to make words and sentences. In my opinion, it is one of the few languages which can be learned by all age groups. So you see, in this paragraph, I have put 2 points. First is that it is already spoken by so many people, so they would find it easy to accept it. They would be happy if it is declared a global language. Second point is that it is easier to learn than many other languages. It has only 26 alphabets which are joined to make words. So it's one language which can be learned by any age group easily. Finally, its spread would bring about many economic benefits as it would lead to increased trade and commerce across the world. See, in this paragraph, I have told this point that there would be a lot of economic benefits as it would lead to increased trade and commerce. A major hindrance to the spreading of business and trade is the language barrier, and universalization of English would be a major impetus to the world economy. So, you know why so many countries don't have trade with each other? Because their language is different, so there's difficulty to communicate. Now, once English becomes a global language, it will add to the economy of many countries because there would be increased trade and commerce across the world. Its transition to a global language would also be the least expensive. Now, if you just give it a transition, declare it as a global language, that would be the least expensive. For example, most websites are in English, and governments across the world would save huge amounts needed to translate them. Even the automatic translators available online work best for English. So, that would be the least expensive to declare English as a global language. However, now this word however, this means that now my tone is changing. Now I'm going to come up with the drawbacks. Two paragraphs I've written for the benefits of English as a global language, and now I've come to the drawbacks. So the paragraph has started with however. However means now I'm going to tell the opposite side. The spread of the English language would not come without its problems. Now, when you read this sentence, does it make it clear that in this paragraph I'm going to talk about the negatives? If it does, then it is a good topic sentence. Okay. To begin with, many people see the spread of English as nothing but the increasing domination of the Western world. It could be opposed by those who want another language to be the global language. Esperanto is a language whose supporters want it to be an international language. They say that it is an invented language and not based on any culture. They say that if governments promote the use of English as a global language, it might speed up the death of many cultures. Language and culture are interrelated, and thus the death of a language is ultimately the end of the culture. So here I have come up with the point that it would not come without its problems. Many people would see it as the increasing domination of the Western world. They say this is westernization, this is increasing domination, and many other countries would want their language to become the global language. And there's one language, Esperanto. It's an artificial language, invented language, not based on any culture. They would say that instead of using English, it should be an artificial language so that all the cultures and languages remain in their place and everybody learn this invented language. They want that language to be declared the global language. So this would be conflicts. It would lead to conflicts. And they say that if English is adopted because it is related to culture, that culture will become strong and all other cultures will die because all other languages are related to cultures, and when those languages will die, the cultures will also die with them. So these are the negatives of the English language English as a global language. To conclude, the transition of English into an international language would certainly result in loss of diversity, but I still consider it to be a positive development for its advantages. So here again, I have said absolutely what I said in the introduction and absolutely what I supported in the body paragraphs, that it would have this disadvantage, but I still consider it a positive development because it has many more advantages, right? So this is what I said in the introduction. This is called uniformity. If your essay is uniform, what it is saying in the introduction, you say the same thing in the conclusion, slightly different words, but they should mean the same, and then you support the same things in the body paragraphs. Definitely it would be a good plan for an essay. And thank you very much for watching patiently. This is one essay from my book. This was seen at 9 a.m. and at 1 p.m. again another essay was seen, which is also from my book, perhaps 282 number. I'll come up with that, I'll say, also very soon. And thank you once again for watching patiently, and keep visiting our website for all these latest updates.